So welcome to the Crownsmen Show, and with Cranky Old Men Drinking Beer. We're live from Mining4Beer at PDAC. That's the Prospectors and Developers Association Conference. I don't know what the C stands for, but it's PDAC. And my name's Roy Slack. I'm one of your hosts. And tonight I have the pleasure of co-hosting with Gus Miner.
Thanks for having me, Roy. Man, I'm telling you, it's packed in here.
It's busy. And this show is our weekly show we do. We usually call it Thursday show, but this is a special edition from PDAC. And this week, we're live from PDAC and Mining4Beer for event in downtown Toronto. And I have to explain something because usually I do the show with Jared and Rory. And lately, Jared's been having some trouble on the show. Started with some disparaging remarks about his child, which was bad enough. Then he got into some HR issues with Devin. Devin's our producer. Devin can attest to that. And we believe the issues are due to having a beer on the show. And because we are probably going to have more than one tonight,
Most likely.
we decided that maybe Gus and I should handle this. And of course, Rory's not on because he spills. He's a spiller. So
really, it's a safety thing, Roy. We're doing this for the sake of safety of the show.
well, Gus is a safety guy. And yeah, this is all about safety. So tonight, we're at Mining4Beer. And tonight, our first guest is Mr. Mining4Beer. And Cameron, we got your
I love the coasters.
customized coasters here. So Cameron, let's talk about Mining4Beer. And I've known you for a while.
Yeah.
And I've always been a big fan of Mining4Beer. Go
Thanks.
figure. But tell us a bit about how it started, because it's been phenomenal what's happened in the last few years.
It's exploded in growth. A friend of mine was a geophysicist, came into Toronto. August of 2012, just for a visit on a tour, and he said, "Let's meet downtown for a beer." Sean and I met downtown, and on my way downtown, he said, "Can we bring in some other miners?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." So I posted on LinkedIn, "Who wants to meet John Dempsey and I for a pint downtown? Let's call it a Mining4Beer." And I said 5 p.m. Actually, was at Scotland Yard.
Really, where we're sitting right now.
This has come full circle. Yeah. So 3 of us ended up showing up. And when I got back to my office the next day, checked my inbox, and it exploded with people saying, "What is Mining4Beer?" And I said, "Well, it was last night." So,
Yeah.
And then it kind of grew out from there. And it became a format for people to get together. If they were moving into different cities, they wanted to get to know people. I would get calls from them saying, "Can we do a Mining4Beer in Saskatoon? Can we do a Mining4Beer in Winnipeg? Can we do a Mining4Beer in St. John's?" And you started to see this trend happening. And at Indaba, Mining Indaba, about a year or so later,
So for the audience, Mining Indaba is in
Cape
Town, South Africa.
a friend had reached out and said, "Could we do a Mining4Beer here?" And I thought, we've never done one at the conference before. So we did one, and we pulled in 10, 12 people.
Right.
The year after that, we did one at PDAC, and we pulled in 15 people. And tonight, we had 2,100 register.
Wow.
So it's grown into this global phenomenon. And one of the interesting events that we had was when the pandemic was on, in the second month of the lockdown, I put a message out on LinkedIn, "Who wants to do a global around the world Mining4Beer online?"
All virtual.
Somebody had donated their team's platform, and we started the marketing for this was hop online on the Zoom link at 5 p.m. in your time zone and join Mining4Beer.
Yeah.
And so we started 5 p.m. New Zealand time, and it went westbound. We pulled in, I think, 450 people on that global go around.
Amazing.
And it exploded, absolutely exploded. Post-pandemic, this thing has just blown up into this beast that it is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Gus, PDAC, I mean, how many PDACs have you attended?
It's my fifth or sixth one right now.
Yeah. And
Okay.
it's a huge conference.
Massive.
But we were talking about this earlier is these conferences will have special events that you might get an invite to. Maybe if you're a client of CAD or something.
Yeah.
I always say Mining for Beer is for the rest of us.
It is. It is.
Anyone can attend.
Yeah. Our only limitation we've learned is capacity.
Which you never thought. We talked
Ever.
about that, or he was all worried if anyone would show up. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was laughing. And you got 2,100
Yeah.
registrants?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's my note here? 0 to 14,000 in 90 minutes.
So our bar tab tonight, we put $14,000 that was raised through our sponsors on the bar, and $14,000 was drank in 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bells.
That's a lot. And now we're being a little quiet with the bell. We don't.
Yeah. 14. It was funny because the bar owner last week said, this bar tab, he said, is going to last you most of the night. And I said, really? And he said, I know you people. He said, I've got a friend it's a mining engineer, another friend that's a geologist. He said, this is going to last you a long time.
Yeah.
And 90 minutes, done.
Let's talk about our heavy industry tour brought to you by Orica Digital Solutions, leading drill and blast into a new era with next-gen Shot Plus. With market-leading design tools and predictive modeling capabilities, next-gen Shot Plus equips drill and blast professionals to effectively improve blast designs and achieve optimal outcomes. Click below to learn more about next-gen Shot Plus. We are heading to events across North America and Australia and filming episodes on location. Email us at info@crownsmen.com to be part of Crownsmen's heavy industry tour. In the demanding world of mining, safety and performance are paramount. Sophie is a comprehensive solution built for the unique needs of the mining industry. From the ground up, their technology helps everyone who works in, manages, and leads mining operations to create high-performance work environments and ensure they come home safely every day. Create the workplace everyone wants to be a part of. Choose Sophie. Visit sophie.com to learn more. Effortless Corporate Traveler Management is here with Corporate Traveler Canada. Boost your business with trusted expert solutions that save time, money, and enhance the traveler experience. Trusted by thousands of companies worldwide. Book and track your travels on your phone or let your dedicated consultant handle it for you. Enjoy 24/7 support and live chat from any time zone and get real-time travel alerts anywhere you go. Your next business trip just got easier. Learn more about Corporate Traveler Canada at corporatetraveler.ca.
And from the marketing perspective, I mean, this is essentially word of mouth.
It is absolutely word of mouth.
It's not like you have a huge marketing campaign to try to grow this on. It's, people heard about it, then the next thing you know, there's more people that heard about it, and it's quite amazing.
Something goes out on LinkedIn, and
the part that really surprises me is you can walk the show floor, and I get a number of people will call me or text me through the day, and they're saying they're hearing people talk about it on the floor, not just this show, but other shows around the world. So it's getting this speak and this mind share. It confuses me.
So
it absolutely
touch on
confuses
few things, and you know what I'm going to ask you about, because last year CBC covered this, right? In the headline, surprisingly big deals get done here. How much of the mining business is done over beers? That was the CBC headline. But the interesting thing is the quote. Okay? So this is a quote. You've got some very high net worth people in here. You've got some of the biggest fishes. And then you've got totally fly-by-night crazy ass juniors. They covered that in CBC. This was the write-up on last year's.
Yeah.
And I want to touch on one more thing. Canada Day in London, England.
Yeah.
And somehow you ended up with Mining for Beer.
Yeah. Yeah. We got the call, and it was through the High Commission. They heard about Mining for Beer. We've done the Mines and Money London series a few times now, and we're always getting a lot of traction. So somehow I think that got pulled into their sphere. And on Canada Day London 3 years ago, we had a tent. The RCMP were pulling out at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and we got asked if we could take over the RCMP's tent at 4:01 a.m. And we worked it from 4.
Did you get horses?
No. But it
that
was.
would have been cool.
It would have been cool.
But that day, I mean, they pulled in an audience of, what was it, 230,000 people that day. It's crazy. It's Trafalgar Square. Trafalgar Square. It's like there's no greater public square than that. And on Canada Day, it is packed, absolutely packed. Yeah, and it was busy. We were busy. We had a really good time.
Oh yeah,
it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about this, and Gus and I talked about it earlier about this brand, and it's taken off. It resonates with people, right?
It is. I mean, you got two of your favorite words, right? Especially around PDAC, right? You got mining and beer, two favorite words together. You got,
And 4 beer is, is 4 times better than 1 beer.
better than a beer, for sure.
Why be for profit when you can be for beer?
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. I know it's
Thanks a lot, guys.
crazy.
Yeah. Thanks.
And this is amazing.
Thanks
You know,
for coming along. Enjoy
we're in
it.
awe.
It is super busy here. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Guys, appreciate the opportunity. Thanks so much.
It's
Please
phenomenal.
come out and say hi to everybody.
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Cheers.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Did you know cementitious binders can be responsible for up to 70% of the total GHG footprint of mine backfilling processes? Now you can replace up to 50% of the binder in your mine backfill operations with Graybond, Graybond's new low-carbon cementitious binder. This lime-based alternative binder maintains a 40 to 70% lower GHG footprint compared to typical cement and can adapt to varying mine conditions without compromising performance. Learn more about Graybond at graybond.com. Join us in the depths of the mining world, where global leaders and industry giants converge to shape the future of mining. From groundbreaking technologies, advanced machinery, revolutionary safety measures, to sustainable initiatives. This is the voice of mining. This is Mining Now. Showcase your company to millions worldwide. Book your episode now. Visit crownsmen.com.
So Gus, this is crazy, eh?
It's wild. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest, because, the invitation goes out, or, the word gets out, and there's a crowd that's going to show up. But this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, it's lined all the way around the corner, for God's sakes.
And this is my segue, because Cameron can't do any of this without sponsors,
Right on.
right?
Hi.
So here we have Pam Coles,
Hi.
who is with Abitibi Geophysics.
Geophysics,
Yeah.
however you want to do it.
Yeah.
Very good.
And she is the chief geophysicist. Is that
That's
correct?
correct. Yep.
And a great supporter. You're not just sponsoring this show, but you guys support Mining4Beer in a number of areas.
Anytime we hear about it and anytime we get a chance. So actually, one of our employees, his name is Chris Nind, he was with Cam when they kind of had this brainchild of, hey, we're in mining. We all like to have a beer at the end of the day. These conferences, our feet hurt. We need to formalize this and get out there. And so our employee Chris was with him when they decided that. He's kind of
He's
put
like
it
the
all
Robin,
together.
to Cameron's Batman.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Is that a good analogy?
I love it.
Yeah, that's a beer-driven analogy, I'm sure.
Yeah, so
Very
we
good.
had a push to it right from the beginning.
Great.
Yep.
So you know what I'm going to tell you now, right?
Well, I don't know.
Yes, you do, because Nadine
Uh-oh.
was in contact with us, and she said if Pam drinks more than 3 beers, she's out. That's
I
a
know,
direct quote from Nadine.
It is. But
And this is
this
in
is
no judgment zone.
this is beer 4, but I've had one sip.
Oh,
But you were already in. So see how that
I'm
works?
sitting.
Like, you
I'm
were
sitting.
already in
I
at
was
3,
there.
so you cut. She made the cut.
she made the cut?
She made
I think
the cut.
so.
Okay.
I think so.
Once you're in, then after that, whatever happens, happens.
But whatever you do, don't ring that bell for Pam.
You can't
No,
ring the bell.
probably don't need
Number
it.
4 and
Or maybe keep it away from Pam. One of the two, right?
number 4, and she sees the door.
Yeah.
So Abitibi Geophysics, and we talked about it before, you're based in Thunderbay.
I am.
It's hard not to think of the bay. And I mentioned to you, I worked up there for a while. I worked a couple summers at GECO in Manitouwadge,
Yeah.
and then I ended up in Marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big mining community. I mean, like, it was a natural spot for us, being from Quebec, to go to when we were opening an office in Ontario.
Yeah.
We were kind of actually looking between Sudbury and Thunder Bay,
Okay.
did a bit of market research, and kind of ended up settling on Thunder Bay.
You know, Thunderbay isn't really a French-speaking town. Do you know that?
I do know that, but you know what? I don't speak French very well.
Secrets out.
Have you been to Thunderbay?
I've been there.
It's a great city to be from.
Beautiful.
You know what? It's grown on me. I've been there about 13 years, I think. I found a man. I've got a family. I've kind of just I'm from Newfoundland. and we're all about, going home and coming back home. But I've found my home away from home in Thunderbay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a large body of water right there to
There
kind of give
is.
you that that
It
tie
does.
back home.
It gives you the
And that
feels.
sleeping giant.
Yeah. It gives you the feels. It does. It's so big that sometimes you kind of forget it's just a lake.
So we're
Yeah.
in Newfoundland.
Where?
I
Okay.
just did a brew tour. Cranky Old Men Drinking Beer just did a brew tour of Newfoundland.
No way.
Yeah.
They have
From
a
St.
lot
John's
of good
all the way up
brews.
to someplace north. We went through Dildo.
I was just going to
Yeah,
ask, did you make
yeah.
a stop in Dildo?
Oh, yeah.
Very important.
Yeah. No, you
They
go
have a
through,
sign,
You go through
you
north
know, you-
North Dildo, and you get to Dildo. Anyway,
I can't believe you brought that up again, Roy.
yeah,
It's
I-
the fifth time
I
already.
dwell on that, don't I?
That was
Yeah.
so good.
You mean that this is not the first time he said the word dildo?
No, he said it multiple times.
Oh, you're looking for excuses.
What? Yeah,
I mean,
that's why I went there,
yeah.
so I could bring it up on the show. So what do you guys do? Like, this isn't a plug or marketing, but I mean, really appreciate you supporting Mining for Beer.
Yeah.
What does Abitibi Geophysics
Well,
do?
we help the exploration community. So we work primarily in mineral exploration. So we do ground, borehole, and drone surveys to help mining companies kind of focus in on where they need to look for minerals.
So Gus is a safety guy.
Uh-oh.
Do you guys work safely?
We work very safely.
You better
And
ask her a
you
couple
will
questions
find
to
that
see.
we have crossed all of our X's, dotted everything, everything's signed, triple checked. Don't you worry.
Very good. Well, I'm happy to hear it because the you got to make sure you got those checks and balances
It's
in place,
important.
especially for the sake of life of mine, right? It's like, where does the data start? And it starts right at that moment, right?
Yep.
So you want to make sure you got a nice clean data input there.
Absolutely.
I don't know if the data starts after 3 beers, but
Well, certainly the
You
data
know-
after 4 beers is a little different.
The night starts
Mine and
after
4
3
beers.
beers.
Mining 4 beers.
Right?
That's you misunderstood the name.
Oh my God. It has a deeper meaning now.
Yeah.
So are you enjoying yourself? Great turnout, though.
I know. It's been really wonderful, actually. It's a lovely venue. It's really, I like all the little rooms and the little places you can go and kind of sneak off with some people, and you can actually have a conversation
Yeah.
here, which is very, very nice. It's
Yeah.
kind of hard when you're talking about putting thousands of people into a building with beer. Sometimes things get very kind of crazy and loud, but this place is actually really lovely.
Yeah,
It's-
it is a good setup.
Yeah.
And do you guys have a booth at PDAC?
We do.
Yeah.
You're going to ask me what number it is, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Oh, thank God.
I know that's number 4. That's the only number I need to know.
Yeah. We're there, Roy. We're there.
Yeah.
I think it's like 13 something.
They're listed in alphabetical order. So A, B, they'll be near the top of the
We're
list.
very close to the top.
Very close to the
Yeah.
top.
Strategic naming.
So yeah, they're talking about 30,000 people.
You
At
know,
the show?
it's usually somewhere always between 20 and 30,000.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to hear that it's closer up to
Yeah.
30,000.
I think it's going to be
Incredible.
a big. We invited the officials from PDAC to this show, and you know what they said, Gus? We're all busy,
Come on.
all 30 people, all the directors, and so I
Too
think they.
busy for 4 beers? I mean,
Well, I might have
Right?
mentioned that you were going to be on the show.
so that's why they left.
They said, "Well, we can't compete with Pam." But any final comments you want to leave with our audience?
Mining for beer it's a pretty incredible thing. If you've registered to the mailing list or if you've ever been to an event, you will know that it started out as these small little get-togethers with just, groups that are kind of in an area. We're going over here for 2 or 3 days for a show. Let's get together and kind of catch up and hang out. And now it's literally across the globe.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Amazing.
And like even during COVID, we had this rolling mining for beer thing where people were just logging on online and it was just moving all across the planet and everybody knows about it. And it's wonderful. It's really amazing what Cam has done with this.
And I often think about this, whether it could happen in any other industry. Yeah, the mining industry is special.
I mean, it's tight knit, right? And then once you start a movement and it starts moving, it goes.
Everybody knows everybody in this industry.
It really-
It's a small, tight-knit industry, as you say. But I don't know. There are probably a lot of industries that like to get together after an end of a long day and have a nice cold one, have a little snack, and kind of, catch up. I can't imagine that this couldn't be something that could be applied to other places.
Well,
But it's special for us.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. And I'm going to send a note to Nadine. You did just fine.
So am I allowed to
Read a bit.
have some more of this now?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You can take that with you. That's
I
one,
can take this
one
with
for
me?
the road.
Is that my payment?
Yeah, that's your.
Beautiful.
Okay. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Okay.
Thanks for putting up with me.
Oh, okay. No.
Enjoy the event. I mean, there's still lots of mingling going on. And
Hey, this is the first night. There is a whole lot more to come after this.
absolutely.
Yep.
I'm going to start out. I'm going to tell you a story, Gus. Because
Perfect.
I went to, back in the old days, okay, these conferences, I went to a CIM event, and this is my segue into introducing CIM. I went to a CIM event in Edmonton, and the guy kicked off the event, the keynote speaker, start of the morning, saying, "This is a type of conference where you're drinking triple, seeing double, and acting single." And I always remember that line. And now things have changed, right? These hospitality suites are not crazy anymore. And the crowd here is very respectable. They're having a couple beers. But I always remember that CIM event. And that's my segue into introducing Alessio Scurci.
You got it, right?
Oh,
Nailed it.
I was sure I was going to screw that up.
You got it.
But Alessio is from University of Toronto and
Correct.
is the chair of the local branch of the CIM.
Correct.
And I've just used the acronym. I know what CIM means, but maybe you can introduce our audience to CIM.
Yeah, so we're the Canadian Institute of Mining, Metallurgy, and Petroleum. And yeah, as you mentioned, there's different branches. You're at the Edmonton branch, you said. We got Toronto branch. Overall, we have CIM National, and within there we have different branches. There's Sudbury, there's Vancouver, Montreal. Toronto's one of the bigger branches we have, so I'm very fortunate that, I have the opportunity to chair such a prestigious organization this year.
There's, I'm trying to remember, there's as many as 30 branches across the country. And you're right, I was in Edmonton on Thursday giving a talk, and that was our student night. But Toronto branch is very impressive, I must admit. And not because I've spoke there a couple times,
A little biased.
but for much better reasons. There's lots of things you guys do. Tell us a bit about what you do for the mining industry.
Yeah, so we do a bit of everything from the mining industry to our education with the students. I think our main event that people come to, such as yourself, is our CIM luncheons every month. So every third Thursday, we'll host a luncheon at the National Club downtown, where we'll bring in a presenter or a panel discussion to talk about a range of topics in the mining industry, in environmental, different range of topics throughout earth science and mining. So every month we have sold out luncheons. We always have few tickets at the doors we still give out with latecomers, but every month it's sold out from a range of speakers, and we're very fortunate. Thank you.
There we go.
Look
All
at
set.
that.
Oh,
That's it.
Jack,
Oh, thanks, Jack.
you didn't even.
Oh, man, we got a whole.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Perfect use.
Yeah,
There we go.
there you go.
3 toques.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our luncheons are our main event, but we also offer other social events. We do our back to after summer social. We do our golf tournament every August. I believe that's been going for 11, 12 years now. And recently, on the education side of things, we also started our CIM student mine tour up again last year. So I spearheaded that last year, and it was a fantastic success where we brought 8 to 10 students along Sudbury, North Bay, different shops, mines, underground, and they had the opportunity to experience that real world firsthand experience that they might not get before they graduate. So
Right.
a little
That's
bit of
great-
everything.
That's a great program. I know we've seen the students come up to North Bay in the tour, but I got to tell you a CIM Toronto story. And Gus, because you're from Sudbury, right?
I'm from Sudbury, yeah.
I was living in Sudbury, And I went down to a CIM Toronto meeting. And I got there a little late, so I'm sitting at the back table. I don't know the people at the table. They asked me where I'm from, and I say Sudbury. And the one guy goes, "Don't you feel a little out of touch about mining up there?"
Yeah.
Now, no, I thought about that, but the mining industry is incredibly active in Toronto. That's what, maybe not digging and blasting, but there's so many things happening in Toronto with regard to mining, and PDAC's one of them, right?
Of course. I think this is where the financial aspect of mining is. A lot of the head offices are here, even though they do operations elsewhere.
And you guys are a sponsor of this event, Mining4Beer.
We are. We're very proud again to be a sponsor this year. It's a fantastic event. Every year we try to come out and support. I think it's gotten bigger every year, almost like a snowball effect, I think. So can't wait for next year already.
So what's next for CIM Toronto? What plans do you have? I mean, you guys do. You work with the student. Well, I mean, you're at U of T, right?
Yeah, so I work for U of T. I did go to U of T for my undergrad and my master's, and now I'm fortunate enough to work there as a lab technician. So I'm very in touch with a lot of the education side of the industry, and this is what I advocate even throughout my undergrad, where I tell students, go to these events. This is how I got introduced to CIM. I went to a luncheon back in, God, what was it? November 2018. So I've been with CIM as a member for a little bit and then on the executive committee since 2020, all because I went to a luncheon, right? So different opportunities that we offer for our students. But I think what's next for us currently is we're still in the planning stages and almost done our CIM student mine tour for 2025, just confirming our last few sites. But again, hopefully we can run another successful tour, give students that real world experience. And I think after that, we do our golf tournament, which sold out every year. We keep raising the capacity. So
Where's the tournament? I know where it is, but tell us where it's being held.
Glen Abbey in Oakville. It's a fantastic, beautiful course. Every year we get great weather. I don't know how we're so fortunate every year.
I went there one year. I'm a terrible golfer. Seriously, really bad. I went there one year, and you go into the locker room, and there's names on the lockers. I'm going, I'm trying to find one that somebody doesn't own, and all these names. And I look closer, Tiger Woods,
Right.
Rory McIlroy. These are names of the guys that played at Glen Abbey. It's not their locker, but they left the names up. It's a pretty cool place.
Yeah, it's a beautiful course, and like I said, I've been involved in a few, and it's just a fantastic crowd that shows up there.
It is.
You guys really do a great job with that event for sure.
Do a few events there. We do the hole-in-one contest, longest putt, I believe. So a few things going on, a few prizes to win, but at the end of the day, it's a good round of golf.
Yeah. Do you do the closest drive to the pin?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
Yeah. I end up winning the closest drive from the
pin.
Anyway, it's not good. That's not.
Yeah.
But CIM, and of course I know CIM well, knowledge sharing, but networking, and I still think networking is misunderstood because people think of it as sales. Like, it's much more than that.
Yeah.
And that is what this is.
Yeah.
That is what your lunch is.
Yeah.
Well, in sales, a lot of times people talk, people won't remember what you do, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
Exactly.
And I think these kind of events gives you that opportunity to establish that bond, right? And then have that moment to share experiences together. And then that's what you remember, right? And it creates like lifelong relationships that way.
I know how I feel after 3 or 4 beers.
Exactly.
But that's not what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, at the end of the day, I think that's the core aspect of CIM is the
Building
networking,
relationships.
building community relationships. This is what we're all about. I think as big as the mining industry is, it's also really small in a way where a lot of people know each other, very intermingled. So I think we're very fortunate being based in Toronto that we have those opportunities to provide for our members, but also our students that are the next generation of young mining professionals, right?
Yeah. Well, is there anything you want to leave our audience with? I mean, CIM isn't marketing on the show, but CIM's an important partner of Crownsmen in the Mining Now show. This is the Crownsmen show we're doing tonight, but both Gus and I have hosted Mining Now shows as well, so we're both very familiar with CIM.
Yeah, I think any takeaway would be join a luncheon and just come see what we're about. If, you're on the fence, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to provide some context, give you updates on some speakers that we have lined up for, the next year. I think we always get a good group of people. And it's a nice familiar faces, but you also see a lot of newcomers that you start seeing more often once they're introduced, similar
There's some
to
very good talks
all the time. Yeah, we're very fortunate. So,
well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for sponsoring Mining4Beer.
I appreciate being on the Crownsmen Show. It's an honor to represent CIM Toronto, but also to be on here. So thank you, Roy and Gus.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Right, very good.
Thanks, sisters.
So, some great guests. This isn't our usual format, but I've enjoyed it. I think it worked out well.
It was a lot of fun, and just even hearing like the deep-rooted story of Mining4Beer and how it all started, very, very small, right? Like some people think I can't start a movement like this, or like this is something that's out of my reach. And it started with what he said at first. It was 6 to 8 people, and then here we are with 2,100 people signing up to come to this event. I mean, it's massive
Grassroots, and last year when Cameron told me that they wanted Mining4Beer at Canada Day in London, England, that's not a mining event.
No.
And there were a couple of beer companies that sponsored them, sent a bunch of beer there. Hats off to Cameron. He's such a nice guy, and keeps in touch with people, follows up with people. And I'll tell you, this is a lot of work for him.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a not-for-profit. Like anyone that sponsors it, it just ends up supporting the bar, maybe a free beer, maybe some snacks, but it's just networking.
Yeah, and you could tell he's got a genuine passion for people and for mingling as well. Like, loves to learn about everybody around him and ecosystem, and especially when you started talking about the virtual events. Right now, you're reaching people at a global scale, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there is Cape Town in South Africa, London, England. I know in Santiago, Chile, and and he gets so many inquiries. And it really is volunteers locally too, because he'll set the structure, but then, groups in this area are working with him to help organize it. So it's just a grassroots movement that's really growing.
It really is.
So I was neglectful in that I didn't introduce the beer at the start. I'd been enjoying it, but I didn't introduce it.
It's a very good beer.
So we are at Scotland Yard, which is a bar. Scotland Yard, and what's the other bar beside it? I can't remember the name.
I know there's like 3 or 4 all stuck together here. There's the
Spaghetti Factory.
Cathedral.
The cathedral. The cathedral.
I got the kid side.
There's the Spaghetti Factory, and then the cathedral, and then
Yeah, and it's a big place. I've only seen this corner,
Matt.
but after the show, I'm going to walk around. But Scotland Yard has their own house beer, and it's 3 chooks, and it's a lager, and we've been sampling it.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think, Gus?
I like it. I mean, it's not too strong, and it doesn't really overbear the palate, but it's also there's enough body in it that you feel like you're drinking a custom beer, like like something that's made here.
Yeah, I do like it too. It's nice and easy drinking, which is exactly what we wanted tonight.
Right.
we didn't want any extremes for.
Gotta keep things under control a little bit, Roy.
You never know what people like, but yeah, I like it, and the place has been a great host for Mining4Beer.
It is. I mean, there's just a ton of character in this building overall.
Yeah.
Right. Like everywhere you go, it seems like you're almost in a different space.
It's pretty cool.
You get to see all kinds of different things. They've done a really great job with the venue.
Originally, we were lined up to go in the library, and Devin checked it out, and it was overrun with people. So great job, Devin, into setting this space up. So we've actually been able to film a show here.
Oh man, that first area it would not have worked. There's just people crossing through to get to her catering door, carrying pallets of beer back out, would have knocked me right over. So glad we were able to find a spot, and it ended up working out wonderfully.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great beer. We're going to review it. What I do is I review it after on Cranky Old Men Drinking Beer.
Okay.
But I like it as a basic lager. This could be what I call a fridge stocker. So it's the type of beer that is not too many people would struggle with it.
Right.
It's easy drinking, basic lager.
And you can chain a few of these together and feel good about it.
They don't call it Three Jukes for nothing.
Exactly.
Not because it's so cold outside you got to wear Three Jukes. It's because it's so nice inside you got to drink through it.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent.
Yeah.
I'm struggling. But so special thanks to Scotland Yard, downtown Toronto. They've done a great job accommodating us, and we enjoyed their Three Jukes beer. And Gus, thanks. Thanks for co-hosting.
Thanks for having me on, Roy. It's been a blast. And you just, like I said, learning history is just something that's just so cool about these episodes in general, for sure.
Yeah. And I know you do Mining Now shows and you do your own Change Itself. We talked about that. I misunderstood that. I thought it was about newborns.
Yeah, exactly. If they could just change themselves.
That's not what it's about at all, I found out. I watched the show. I found
Well, to a certain degree, it might, Roy. Change management's hard. Yeah. And, sometimes you just want them to kind of help out a little.
We all struggle with change. And our guests, we had Cameron Clark, Mr. Mining4Beer.
Mr. Mining4Beer.
Cameron Clark on. Pam Coles from Abitibi Geophysics. And Alessio Scurci from CIM Toronto. Those were our guests. A little bit of a different format.
Yeah.
I think it worked out well.
I think it did as well.
And thank you to our audience for joining us for a special edition of the Crownsmen Show.
Maybe we can give a plug to wrap it up, for mining4beer.com.
Mining4Beer.com.
Anybody that's interested to find out more about this movement, mining4beer.com. Go check it out.